What are the best electric cars and SUVs that you can buy for 2023? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. The electric car market is changing extremely quickly, with the technology improving almost every year, and there are many brand new EVs that are going to be coming on the market over the next few years too. But what if you can't wait for tomorrow's technology and want to buy an electric vehicle right now? What exactly are the best electric vehicles that you can buy at the moment, from affordable to premium, cars to SUVs, in terms of their performance, range, price, and reliability? Well, make sure to stick around until the end of the video because that's what we're going to find out. And if you enjoy and get value out of this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I post 2 videos a week, always straight to the point, valuable car buying advice designed to help you, the consumer. So let's start this video off with my number 10 pick, which is going to be the BMW i4. Now this one's obviously on the more expensive premium end of the list, but if you were considering buying a compact or mid-size luxury car and were thinking of buying something that's fully electric, the BMW i4 is a very good choice. The i4 is BMW's first go at a fully electric sports sedan, and the one that's basically designed to take on Tesla, with very similar performance, range, and price, but with the benefits of BMW ownership. The i4 does have a very impressive driving range with up to 300 miles or 480 kilometers on one charge with the base model eDrive 40. Now it is important to mention that the base model of the i4 is rear-wheel drive, so if you want to have all-wheel drive you will need to upgrade to the high-performance M50. Either way, the i4 is an incredible driving car with very impressive performance and handling, which is what you would expect from a BMW. It also has a well-designed interior with excellent build quality, a very good infotainment system, and lots of interior space and cargo space with that rear hatchback body style. And the pricing for the i4 is actually quite reasonable. It's very similar in price to the gas-powered M340i, which has very similar space and performance, so you're not really paying much of a premium in order to go EV. So if you were thinking of buying a luxury car that happens to be electric, the i4 is a really solid choice. So with that one out of the way, let's move on to number 9 on the list, which is going to be the Ford Mustang Mach-E. The Mach-E was Ford's first proper attempt at a dedicated electric vehicle, and as far as electric crossover SUVs go, this is a pretty good one. The Mach-E offers a lot of different options depending on what you want and your budget. You can go with either rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, or a standard range or long-range battery with up to 300 miles or 480 kilometers of range. You can even go for a super high-performance GT model, which gives you really impressive acceleration and handling if that's what you're looking for. In any case, the Mach-E is a great driving crossover with good ride quality, excellent handling, and very impressive acceleration. You also get a surprisingly nice interior with really high build quality, lots of great features, and really good technology too. It's also quite spacious with a good amount of room in both the front and rear seats, a decent sized cargo area, and even some cargo space underneath the hood too. The Mach-E is on the expensive side, even for an EV crossover, but given everything that it offers, I think it's still a really solid package. And moving on to number 8 on the list, we have the Volvo XC40 Recharge. Volvo plans to make their entire car lineup fully electric by 2030, and if the XC40 Recharge is any indication of that, it should be a very impressive lineup. I was extremely impressed with the XC40 when I tested it. It has a very attractive combination of great design, excellent build quality, lots of great features and tech, plenty of interior space, and really good performance too. You're basically getting a more premium version of the Mach-E at a very similar price, with in some ways even better technology. But even though the XC40 is clearly a really well-designed EV with surprisingly strong performance too, it does lack a little bit when it comes to the driving range, which is only around 220 miles or 360 kilometers, well below most of its rivals. If that range works for you, however, then the XC40 Recharge is a great small luxury SUV, especially for someone who wants to go fully electric. But if these SUVs are outside your budget and need to buy something a lot more affordable, then let's move on to number 7 on the list, which is the Chevrolet Bolt EUV. As far as affordable EVs go, the Bolt might just be the best option on the market right now. The pricing is incredibly attractive, well below almost every other EV that you can buy, which makes it a really attractive package. And it's not as if GM is really cutting a lot of corners with the Bolt either. For one thing, it has a very good driving range, around 260 miles or 400 kilometers on one charge. Now, because it uses GM's older EV technology, the charging speeds are not the fastest on level 3 power. But if you plan to do most of your charging at home using only level 2 power, then it's not really much of a concern. Aside from that, the Bolt TUV is pretty hard to find fault with. It has a great driving feel with lots of power and performance. It has a well-designed interior with lots of good technology and plenty of interior space too. For anyone working with a smaller budget and just wants to get into EV ownership for the first time, the Bolt TUV is a great starting point. But the Bolt is not the only good affordable EV that you can buy on the market. You can also take a look at number 6 on the list, which is the Nissan Leaf. Much like the Bolt, the Leaf is one of the longest running and most affordable EVs that you can buy. Compared to most other EVs on the market, the Leaf is one of the most affordable options, and it also has one of the most well-proven reputations for long-term reliability too. Nissan has been making the Leaf longer than almost any other electric car on the market, even going back before the original Tesla Model S. So if you want a solid EV with a well-proven reputation, the Leaf is a really safe choice to go with. But anyone expecting anything more than just basic transportation might be in for a bit of disappointment. For one thing, it only has an average driving range of around 220 miles or 360 kilometers, and that's with the bigger battery pack option. It also uses the harder to find and outdated CHAdeMO connector instead of the far more common CCS connector that's found on almost every other electric car, which means that charging at a high-speed level 3 charger might be a little bit of a challenge. Even though there's nothing special about the Leaf when it comes to its driving experience, technology, and performance, this is still a great basic EV for anyone who just wants to get through the door of EV ownership for the first time. But if you like the idea of the Leaf when it comes to safety, build quality, and reliability, but just want something that's more up to date in terms of technology, then let's move on to number 5 on the list, which is going to be the Toyota bZ4X and the Subaru Solterra. Now I'm putting these two together in the number 5 and 4 spot because they are basically the exact same vehicle, just from different brands. Both crossovers were co-developed, so they share the exact same platforms, the same drivetrains, the same interiors, and more or less the same styling too. Although the Solterra comes standard with all-wheel drive, the bZ4X offers a choice of either two-wheel or all-wheel drive depending on your budget, with a range of up to 250 miles or 400 kilometers, and of course they are compatible with DC fast charging too. There's nothing especially spectacular about these crossovers when it comes to their performance, their design, or their features, but they give you almost everything that you could ask for in an affordable crossover, and at a very reasonable price too. And of course, with Toyota's reputation and multiple decades of experience building electrified vehicles in the form of hybrids and plug-in hybrids, they should also deliver excellent long-term reliability too. That being said, I've only spent a little bit of time behind the wheel of the bZ4X so far. The launch hasn't exactly been very smooth. It's only available in certain markets so far, and the waiting periods are extremely long too, even by EV standards. Put all that together and the bZ4X and Solterra are not exactly the easiest EV crossovers to buy, at least not for some time. So if you want something that's a little bit more readily available with not such a long waiting period, then let's move on to number 3 on the list, which is the Tesla Model 3. Now I know this one is going to be a little controversial, but hear me out because there are many reasons why the Tesla Model 3 continues to be a really good choice and one of the most popular EVs on the market right now. For one thing, it's been on the market for quite some time and has actually turned into one of the best sellers. One impressive thing about the Model 3 is that it has the longest driving range of any EV in its price range, with up to 360 miles or 570 kilometers on one charge, with the long-range battery pack. And of course, being a Tesla, you have access to Tesla's amazing supercharger network, which is a huge bonus that you don't get with any other EV. Although there have been some quality issues with Teslas over the years, the Model 3 seems to be one of the better built and more reliable Teslas that you can buy. Which works out quite well because the Model 3 also happens to be the most affordable Tesla that you can buy too. So anyone who's looking to get into EV ownership, the Model 3 is still a really solid choice. There are, however, newer EVs on the market with even more impressive technology and at an even more affordable price point too. So let's move on to number 2 on the list, which is going to be the Kia EV6. Built on a dedicated EV platform, the EV6 delivers everything that you would expect from an electric car. You can get it in a variety of different models with either two-wheel or all-wheel drive, a standard range or long-range battery with up to 300 miles or 480 kilometers of range, or you can even go for a high-performance Model 2. Kia has become famous for its really impressive technology, and the EV6 is a great example of that, with a really well-designed infotainment system that's one of the best on the market. The EV6 also offers really good value, especially when you consider all the features and technology that you get, the amount of interior space that it has, and the driving range and performance, all for a really attractive price. As with a lot of other EVs, long-term reliability is still a bit of an unknown, but at least Kia gives you one of the longest warranties in the industry, so you are protected for quite some time. The EV6 is a really well-rounded EV that's hard to find fault with, but of course you could also say the same about number 1 on the list, which is the Hyundai Ioniq 5. The Ioniq 5 is a serious knockout and a solid effort from Hyundai, which proves that they're really serious about making electric vehicles. This is basically the platform cousin of the EV6, so it shares all of the exact same options and components. You get a choice of either two-wheel or all-wheel drive, a standard range or long-range battery with up to 300 miles or 480 kilometers of driving range, which is impressive. And the charging speeds of both the Ioniq 5 and the EV6 are faster than almost any other EVs on the market, thanks to an 800-volt system with up to 350 kilowatts of charging speed. The rest of the tech is identical to the EV6 with an equally nice interior, a similar infotainment system, and lots of great features and active safety technology too. And as with the Kia, you have one of the longest warranties in the industry, which gives you a bit of peace of mind too. EV technology may be improving extremely fast, but cars like the EV6 and the Ioniq 5 prove that there are some really solid choices on the market right now. Of course, all the different EVs on this list have their own advantages in different ways. Some are better in terms of affordability, some offer better reputations for reliability, and some are better when it comes to performance and luxury. It really all depends on what your priorities are. Unfortunately though, one thing that they all have in common is extremely long waiting periods. Because EVs are in extremely high demand and have limited availability, you have to order one from the dealer and wait a very long time, in some cases up to 1 year long or even longer. It's also important to mention that there are a lot of brand new EVs that are going to be hitting the market within the next year or so. So be sure to check out my upcoming video on the best brand new EVs to keep a close eye on. In the meantime, if you're thinking of buying an EV for your next vehicle, which of the EVs would you buy from this list? Or would you just wait and buy something else instead? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. You can also check out some of my other videos by clicking these links over here. Make sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram, and if you need any additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, make sure to check out carhelpcan.com. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.